Good evening. Hey, y'all. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. And there's one, the sole one, probably the only one that'll come on. Make sure to say hi. Smile for the camera. So, what's happening tonight? Anything good? Y'all got your Christmas shopping done yet? Did you get any of the Black Friday deals and the Cyber Monday deals? We're at the point in our lives where we don't even get anything for each other anymore. Maybe a swift kick in the butt. That's about the extent of it. Oh, so a subscriber got a hold of me and said that they couldn't comment on the live chat, saying that they can't respond to it. So they don't, so it's just like I'm talking into nothing. I didn't realize that was a thing. And I actually found the little box when you're setting up the video to where you have to select it for being a live chat replay. If you don't do that, then it doesn't make any sense. And I get what he was saying. I mean, you'd see me talking about and absolutely nothing. It didn't make any sense, I'm sure, because there was no comment to go along with it. So I got that fixed, I think. So you'll have to let me know. Hopefully somebody will come back and tell me that it's fixed. So anyway, so I started building probably the most expensive 4L70 that I've ever done. I need to get these done because I know you guys are getting bored with them, and I know I am because it's repetitive on the. I don't mind building them at all, but I know that the content's getting pretty boring, and I get that, and it shows in the numbers that are coming across. You guys aren't real happy with them, and I get it. There's only so many times you can see it. I mean, this one will have some Sonox goodies in it that I haven't done yet. It's got a smart Tekka input, and they call it a Tekka. I didn't think it was, but anyway, input housing input housing and drum assembly. Well, this stinks. I don't have anybody on here. I guess I'm burning you all out with these Saturday night things. But like I said, I do it just to kind of a release, and if anybody's got to ask me a question, I'm here to do it. I helped out another gentleman that drawing a bike. Excuse me. He's been working on his Silverado and having some electrical issues. And I think I've got him steered in the right direction. Last I checked, he was back working at it again. But hopefully he'll get it. He'll get her going. Oh. Okay. So apparently one of our normal subscribers Doc Doc Remulac. Apparently, he could use some prayers. Just emailed me and said that he had a couple of medical events, and he says typing skills haven't come back yet. Um, so hopefully we can get him back on the mend and um, get him to where he can get back to function again. You never like to hear that about anybody. It's crazy. Of course, my mom called me um, the other day, and she she apparently has got the vid again. Um, and it's kind of ironic because she's had all of her jabs and everything else, and yet she's still getting sick. So, maybe the results will be less severe. So, it's not that no one wants to see the videos. It sometimes takes me. You're right. It does. Um, I'm trying to change that, and after the first of the year, there might be a pretty major change. Um, but you're not lying. I mean, it has been pretty sporadic. Um, but only thing I can do is try my best, and I know it's been kind of lax, and I've let a lot of you down, and I feel bad about it. I wish I could devote more time to it. Um, there's been a lot of stuff going on in my life too, um, just as anybody else. Um, I'm trying though. Like I said, I've got two other builds that I'm in the middle of. Um, and again, the only reason why I record these builds is for the customer more than anything, so they can go see what they actually got inside their transmission. So I'm in the process of building one now for uh, a '68 Camaro that he's putting an LS3 in front of it, and it's highly modified. He's got a spec sheet on it and everything. I think it was over 600 horse. So uh, I'm pretty excited about getting that one done. Hey there, Mike. If you didn't hear, Doc needs some prayers. Um, he is on the mend. The only thing he said is he's got some medical issues that are preventing him from typing. So I hope it's nothing major. But he needs some prayers. So um, anyway, yeah, I've got a lot of stuff I need to move on to, and I need to get more to it. And like I said, after the first year, there may be some pretty major changes, and I do mean pretty major. Um, don't know how that's going to go just yet. We'll have to see. Um, somebody's interested in talking to me. Let's see if we can find out who that is. Okay, we've got another prayer request here. Um, grandson Brenton, he's in hospice. Oh boy. Okay, so his name is Thomas, and he's asking for prayers for his grandson Brenton. He is in hospital at Cincy Children's Hospital. Apparently, he has a blood disorder that the doctors are having issues finding out what's going on. So he needs some prayers for healing and to guide the doctors. And if you do it silently, that's fine. Um, um, the power of prayer is pretty substantial. So um, you know, keep your hearts and minds and make sure that you pray for them. Children are the ones that need the most because they're the future for us, and they deserve every bit of fighting chance as anybody. So um, they they're important. We were never blessed with any kids, but we've got the four-legged furry ones nonetheless. So it's tough when you lose any of them, and children, like I said, are very important, especially when they're not been um, subjective uh, to bad influences, if you know what I mean. Anyway, their minds are fragile, and their bodies are too until they build up an immune system. So anyway, so prayers for Doc and prayers for Brendan, and I think that was his name. Um, Let me go back to it here. I think it was Brendan. Brenton. I was close. Brenton, excuse me for that. Um, Cincinnati. So that's must be Cincinnati, Ohio. Um, yeah, that's oh Jerry. He comes on there every once in a while. He's in um, he's in Indiana, but he's still in one of those states in the Rust Belt states, kind of like Missouri, where I was from. So anyway, so yeah, hopefully, just like that. I mean, man, I tell you what, there's been some news that came out about Tractor Supply um, that wasn't too appealing. Um, and from what it sounds like, is they kind of got duped into the whole ordeal. If you have ever watched, um, it's not Changing Lanes. RV Odd Couple. Yeah, RV Odd Couple. Go check them out. They are a couple that are faith-based campers, and they bought a campground um, called Thunder Canyon, and they fixed it up and they've got it opened up. It's not necessarily a public campground. You got to be part of the RV Odd Couple, but at any rate, they ran into it at Tractor Supply, and y'all need to do some research. Don't take anything I say for set in stone or anything like that. But if you haven't heard of what ESG is, you need to read on it, and it's not a good thing. Um, and that's part of what the Tractor Supply is. Turns out they're big into that, and ESG stands for economic, social, and governance, and they have a score rating, kind of like a credit score, only worse. They It's based on how well you conform to the same principles as the elites, which opens up a bunch of money and benefits um, that aren't for the normal people, and these corporations are getting in the middle of it. Um, but like I said, I'm not going to get into it deep, just for certain reasons. So do some research on it and find out about companies. And I'm going to tell you that a lot of times that certain platforms will block that kind of search, and they will try to snuff it out because they don't want you to know about it. It's a bad deal, and Glenn Beck has talked a lot about it. So Glenn Beck has got a book out on it that apparently is a good read. I don't have the book, but I lost my lid to my cup. It hit the floor one too many times, and this time it hit on the top and it shattered the lid. So it is what it is. Well, thank you for the like, whoever put that out there. I appreciate it. Anyway, so I'm going to tell you, work sure has slowed down. Man, I tell you what, Friday when I was there, I didn't get my first ticket till 11 o'clock. I was just standing there picking my butt half the morning. That was kind of cool. Once I got moving, it wasn't too bad, but um, I ended up with about 4 tickets Friday, and none of them were real good, just basic oil change, tire rotations. I got this one Traverse they ordered a quarter glass for this thing for the back window for a molding. I honestly don't know why they ordered it. I mean, it snapped back together, but uh, it's a cheesy design nonetheless. But anyway, we're gonna end up putting that back in. So is Thomas, is Louisville part of um, Ohio? I don't know where Louisville is. I know where there's one in Tennessee and Kentucky. Louisville Metro Parks. I'm not sure where that's at. That's that's what I thought. It was in Kentucky. So they flew him up to Cincinnati basically for the children's hospital. I'm assuming that's what Short is. Churchill Downs. Okay. I know exactly where that's at. Been there a couple of times. Kentucky's a good place. It's beautiful there. Anyway, yeah. So oh, okay. Now I can at least place a face to a name. I didn't know that. I've never known. I don't think I ever knew what your actual uh, name was. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. Yeah. You're not lying. They're sure trying at it anyway. I can't wait till after the first year when we get to do something else. They're still farting with that stuff that's going on in Arizona, and I guess there was something in Georgia that happened that they found a lost card or something like that that ended up flipping a race or something like that. It's crazy, and I can't say that I'm surprised because I'm not. I mean, I knew that there was going to be that kind of shenanigans going on, one way or the other. Um, but there's going to come a time when people are going to say that's enough, and I hope it's sooner than later. That's cool. I hope he does. Um, I hope he does. Just like I said, children are super important, and yeah, like I said, we'll keep everybody in our prayers. Need a lot of them. Needs more people to believe in something other than government. They need to believe in. Uh, I'm not saying that everybody needs to believe in religion. It's whatever you want to do. Um, but you can't want rely on that place over there on the East Coast for sure. Um, I'm just more than happy to. I mean, it gives me something to do. I'm one of those people that I have to keep my mind occupied. If I don't keep my mind occupied, I start dwelling on bad stuff and everything else, and it just doesn't work. I have to keep my mind going. Um, and it drives my wife nuts sometimes. Well, more times than others, just because a lot of times it won't shut off. Um, we'll be going down the road and I'll hear a tire that's about ready to come apart. And she'll go, "Would you shush?" I said, "Sorry, I can't. I mean, that's just the way I'm wired." But so let's see, what else can I tell you on? Speaking of Tractor Supply, we are getting one in our little town here. I can't believe it. It's going to be over by our grocery store by Winn Dixie that we've got here. Winn Dixies are kind of popular down here, kind of like Publix. You get up uh, Kentucky and those kind of places. Kroger's are big up there. They've got a Kroger delivery down here, which I haven't quite figured out how that works, but I've seen a couple of their vans out. But anyway, yeah, I think there's a lot of us there. I'm on I'm on a Facebook page for GM technicians, and I'm going to tell you what, I've seen a lot of posts here in the past couple weeks. A lot of guys loading up their toolboxes and saying "Hasta la vista," and I'm not going to lie. There's three of us there at the shop now that have thought the same way. including me. Um, it's just getting so bad. Um, Warranty times are next to nothing. Um, and for me, the biggest thing I've got a problem with is 95% of the work that I get is warranty work, and it's terrible. Yes, they are. Children are our future for sure. And I think about some of the guys there that have got big families. There's one of our techs there that's got 8 kids, 7 or 8 anyway. And it's it's crazy. I'm not looking forward to this thing with the collectors, um, that they've hired all those people. They're saying that after the first year, they're really going to crack down on it. So anything over $600, if you don't report it, you're going to get fined, or they're going to come after you, or something like that. Which I honestly don't know how they can do that, but um, I guess anything's possible. Oh goodness, I'm sorry. I actually went to bed at like 9 o'clock last night. Was up about 1, long enough to take the dogs out. Went back to bed and didn't get up until 7:30 this morning. And I enjoyed every bit of that sleep. I don't know about all that. I think you might have me confused with somebody else. I'm not that alert. But yeah, I don't get as much sleep as I should. And now that I'm getting older, I can't do that stuff anymore. I need to take care of myself better than I do. I'm kind of bad at it. Oh, but anyway, oh my goodness. Sorry, I can't quit yawning. All the doggos are crashed, along with this one right here. Must be rough. I got one down here on my right, and that'll be my left actually. Got one on the couch. I don't know where the white calico is. Oh, okay. That's a task because I know that you have to get that dude to work, to get an 80 swap to work in a regular cab. What's up, Scott? How are you tonight? Yeah, to get an 80 swap to work in a regular cab, you got to pin out a couple of or for the speed sensors. Um, Other than that, I think everything is pretty similar. I mean, it uses the same plug, but you have to add the two for the speed sensors, the input speed sensor and the output speed sensor. Input they usually call a turbine shaft speed sensor, but um, the the new 10 speed, I don't know, it's not really that new. The new 10 speed has got One, two, three. It's got 6 speed sensors inside the transmission. Isn't that crazy? Nice. I think the last on my Firebird when I had a 91 formula. I put Hotchkiss on it. I put lower control arms. Well, these are on the rear. I didn't do the fronts. Um, I didn't have the car long enough to do the fronts. Buddy at work wanted it pretty bad when I was looking. See up there, that was like my only transportation, and it snows up in Missouri. And if anybody knows anything about F cars, they don't get around in the snow very good. And so I was tired of getting stuck in it. So I basically sold it and bought my first Z24. And that car was a blast, that little car. Um, but yeah, I put Hotchkiss on the rear lower control arms and the Panhard rod, but I didn't get a chance to do the fronts. I will probably do the fronts on Scarlet whenever I get to it. Um, we've got a camping trip coming up. I'm looking forward to doing. It's well, actually, Scott, mine was a 98, my first one I bought. So it had the old quad four in it. Well, it was actually, they called it the twin cam 2.4 liter. Um, that was my first one. Now I had some friends of mine that I grew up with had the newer body or the square body. Um, his was a hard top, but there was a lot of convertibles out there too. But um, at any rate, I forgot what the hell I was talking about. Yeah, mine. I had a 98, and then I bought a house and realized real quick I needed uh, a truck. So I sold that car and bought an '87 GMC pickup, which absolutely loved that truck. That truck was awesome. Um, but then I wanted to get something with better gas mileage again, so I bought a 2001 Z24. They were both 5-speed cars. And knowing what I know now, I would have never bought a manual transmission in one of those because the resale value on them was terrible. Because nobody knew how to drive a stick, and still a lot of people don't know how to drive sticks. Um, Speaking of which, did you see that Dodge for their last year, 2023, they are bringing back the manual transmission in a Hellcat? Um, I don't know how they're going to get a transmission to hold up, but hey, whatever. That's cool. Um, it's pretty rare that we get a Z28 or any kind of Camaro on our lot that has a manual in it. Just not very popular anymore. Well, Ice, I have two Z's. Um, and they're both 87s. One was a carbureted and one was a tune port. I think what I've decided, um, yeah, I mean, I'd still buy a manual too, King, for sure. Um, I think what I've decided is I think I'm gonna since the 87 or Scarlet is already set up for tune port, I think I'm gonna leave it tune port. Of course, it won't be stock, obviously. I've still got the donor car out there that I'm gonna be starting back on here for too long. I got to get this one transmission done, and then I'm gonna keep working on my own stuff and see if I can make a go at this thing on and see if I can get the YouTube algorithm to pick up on it. Y'all are still subscribing to me, and I can't be tickled. Can't be more tickled. I'm just flattered that that many people find interest in what I'm doing. Um, Albeit not very consistent. That's my biggest problem. But I think I'm gonna I think I'm gonna keep Scarlett a tune port because I just like the V8 sound. But I got that. I end up getting that uh, 2 liter turbo with the 8 speed, and I really want to put that in the other one. I think that'll be just cool as all get out. Um, Plus, you can modify them pretty easy. I could put a forged rotating assembly in it because I know they weren't forged pistons. They were probably just cast, knowing GM. Even with the turbo, they had problems with the 1.4 liters, but that engine's kind of junk. Thanks, brother. I appreciate that. Um, but I'm getting anxious to want to start on that too. I got just too many irons in the fire and not enough time. I wish I had more time. And that's something that's getting pretty scarce. Nice, nice eyes, man. I've had a 77 TA, an 81 turbo TA, an 82 Trans Am, an 89 GTA Trans Am, which was a tune port 5 speed, 91 Formula Firebird, and now I have this 89 IROC that's the donor car. I have the 87, which was my buddy's, my best friend that I've had for years since I was 16, and that's a few years. And then I got this other 87 that I picked up just south of Georgia. It was, from what I can see, a pretty rust-free car. I have not picked that one up yet, Scarlett. I have not got it up in the air to see what the underneath looks like. But neither one of the 87s had a drivetrain in it, so that's where the 89 came in, because it's got a complete drivetrain, torque arm, the whole 9 yards. Now on the 80s, on Scarlett, I haven't decided which way I want to go with the fuel injection system. Here's the issue. I can do, if I went with a Holly, it has limitations on the Terminator. Now, if you went with a Dominator, that's a whole nother story. But the Dominator ECU by itself is like $3,000, and that's way out of my budget for wanting to build something. Guys that are racing with it, I get. You got endless budgets and that kind of stuff. You can do that kind of thing, but what I'd really like to do is do a conversion on it with EFI connection and make a cam crank sensor mod, and that way I could run coil on plug, and I think it'd be cool on an old L98. I'm sure it would respond a hell of a lot better. Plus, on those are already wired for um, the good O2 sensors. And I don't think it's that big a deal to put lambda sensors in it, which is basically a wideband. Um, so you'd get better fuel control out of it that way. Um, I, if you did something like that, then you're kind of wide open as far as transmission choices. If you went with something like a Holly or something of that nature, then you're kind of limited on what transmission you can only run a 4-speed with their Terminator or Terminator X Max is what it is. What do you mean you're not going to let me go? Am I going somewhere? Yeah, I agree with that, Ice, for sure. But so if I went with a late model harness, I can find a harness in an ECU or something, just pretty much anything. Um, well, even then, you're still limited to 4-speed automatic if you went that route. Um, I could convert it and put a T5 or a T56 in it, but you know what? Everybody's doing that. I mean, as for something that you're just going to cruise around or just if you want a daily drive, it's kind of nice just to hop in, put it in gear and go. Um, maybe that's because I'm getting old, but don't get me wrong. I love to drive manual transmissions. They're a lot of fun. Um, driven a lot of Corvettes there at the shop for different issues that people have had. So, um, I've actually had to repair one too. The guy brought in it was tough to get in gear and it had blocker rings that were kind of worn out in it already. The thing didn't have that many miles on it, but I haven't seen the car back, so apparently I fixed it right. Uh, anyway, um, so there's the difference on I don't know if you guys knew that or not, but on when they went to um, around 2007, they started doing input speed sensors on the 4L60s. 2010 was the first year that they used a 6L80 and 6L90 six-speed. Those run on um, the 2010. They run on a different. They run on a 58 tooth reluctor for the crank signal, and they have a 4X for the cam signal. The EFI connection does it both ways. They do a 24X and they do a 58X um, crank signal kit. If I go with a 58X, I'm pretty much wide open as far as what transmission I want to use. Um, I've got I've already got a 6L80 that will fit in that Camaro. The 6L50 would never hold up. That's a series coming up once I get this transmission built. I'm going to show you the 6 speeds. And then after that, I'm going to show you some 8 speeds. It's a moneymaker for sure, King. For me at the shop anyway. I mean, they fail left and right. They are a good transmission, but what they do is they have a programming issue that burns up the clutch in the torque converter, and when that fails, then that's when everything else goes to hell. But from the get go, they hold up pretty good. I mean, look at the police Tahoes; those things uh, get the crap beat out of them. And we actually have an account with uh, the local sheriff's department down here, and we get a lot of their vehicles, and they don't tear them up that much, not as much as you would think, anyway. It's a neat transmission, it really is. And I'm anxious to show it to you. The one that I've got here is burnt up, so I mean it'll be a good learning experience for y'all. Then the 8 speeds are pretty cool. I don't have any 10-speed cores, so I can't show you those yet. But um, the 10 speeds, that's kind of a unique dude too. The 10L8, 10L90, 10L80 or 10L90. I think it's 10L80. I don't remember. It's different from a 10L1000, which the 10L1000 GM calls an Allison, and it's not. Um, they pretty much just bought the name rights for it. Oh, okay. I'm with you. I can't get enough water tonight. Um, but yeah, I'd really love to see. What would be cool is to see an 8-speed transmission behind a tune port engine. I think that would just be killer. Because what's cool about that is, tune ports have got such a certain. They make torque up to a certain RPM, and in their range, they make a gob of it. Speaking of which, if y'all haven't checked out um, L to the W's Project Z28 on his channel, Vetruski Travels is the actual name of his channel now. But he just took Project Z28, and that, if you guys remember, that's the one I built the 700 for. He took it to the dyno, and the thing made massive amounts of torque with that cam that he had in it. He didn't have a whole lot of horsepower out of it, and I think that's because of the ECU, its limitations. But it made massive amounts of torque on just a L98 stock bottom end. He put some heads on it. It's got a first TPI intake on it and a comp cam, and he's got some headers on it. And it made something stupid like 405 foot-pounds of torque or something like that. Just insane. And you want to talk about something that'd feel good on the street. That's a perfect street engine. Well, King, you're partially right on that. It's actually the transmission, the 10L1000 actually, and the 10L80 is actually built by Hydromatic Division, which is a division of General Motors, and they do share the same technology with the Ford. It's damn near identical. The thing that's different on them, though, I do believe, is the valve bodies, but all the guts and stuff. It's so similar. The cases are the same, or the cases are a little different depending on, because it has to made up to a Ford, but they're almost identical in design. So yeah. Um, and I think on that one, we're going to probably start seeing a lot of more of the 1001,000s failing. Um, we've got one in there. One of my or the diesel tech has got one in there right now. It's a 2020, and I guess this guy Hot Shots, and it's already got like 200,000 miles on it, and he's had it repaired once in um, 2008, I think, or not 2008. Um, at like 89,000 miles, he had the thing repaired, and I guess reverse is going out of it now, so it's gonna need it. It's gonna need a box. They don't want us tearing down stuff with that many miles out of warranty. They'd rather just see us put a box in it and go, which it's better for the customer because they're going to have a better warranty on it. But yeah, I wouldn't want anything newer than a 2019 because if I want a transmission in a heavy truck, I want a real Allison. Um, my old pickup, Bertha, she may be a little rusty and around the edges, but it's got a solid powertrain in it. It's got the 8100 in it, with the Allison 5-speed, and it's still got the 11.5-inch rear end like the diesels have. Um, so it's built hell for stout. Hang on just a second. Yeah. All right. Yeah, but I'm like you, King. I wouldn't I wouldn't have one of the new ones for sure. Plus I can't I can't get into the look of the front end on the Chevrolet. I mean, to me it's just butt ugly. Um the GMC looks a heck of a lot better. I mean, I don't know why they couldn't have done something like the GMC and been happy with that, but anyway, we got the ugly duckling one. I say that we just because I work for them. But at any rate, yeah, I got a picture of one I was putting back together. It's on my Instagram. If you guys look at that. Um, Not what I wanted. I'm putting putting a 10-1000 back together. And that's how you have to do it. You do it with a cherry picker, and that whole inside cage comes apart. The whole gear train, the output shaft is down on the bottom of the case. But the thing is so heavy that you have to use a cherry picker. Stop licking. Here, there's a better shot of it. You can see the case is all on the bottom of it there, and that's how you have to put it in. You got a little clamp there at the top that holds the input shaft. But yeah, I post a lot of stuff on Instagram too. Stuff I'm working at the time. I don't know what that picture's of. Anyhow. Well, I think that's probably going to do it for tonight's live stream. Unless y'all got anything else. Not a whole lot of you on tonight, which is fine. I'm happy to get anybody to come out. So y'all make sure to check in on your loved ones. Make sure that they're good. We need some prayers for a couple people. Need prayers for Doc Remlach, which he's not on tonight, but you need to pray for him to get some fast healing, and pray for Brenton, and for the doctors to figure out what's going on with him. Y'all, I really appreciate every one of you, believe it or not. So y'all take care of yourself, take care of each other. God bless you, and God bless America. We'll talk to you later. Bye.